Good afternoon. Well, welcome you all to the Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting. This is our second meeting of September 2024. Today is September 16th, 2024, and we are at, for those watching, at OCTC, Blandford Lecture Hall. And before we start, I want to again thank Dr. Scott Williams for allowing us to use this facility at no charge to the Fiscal Court. So, Commissioner Castlen, would you lead us in the prayer and the pledge, please?
Absolutely. Please bow your head and pray with me. Heavenly Father, as we come before you today, we thank you for the many opportunities this day brings to serve our community while also serving you. We thank you for the changing of the seasons and that we live in a community that exhibits these changes so beautifully in our landscape, with the changing of trees and harvesting of crops. We ask for your continued protection over our elected and those aspiring to be elected leaders, along with their families and supporters, as they do what they believe is right in your eyes. Please be with our country and our community to help eliminate the anger and division that makes others commit senseless acts towards your people. We also ask you to keep us clear from the confusion and chaos that accompanies this anger and division. Instead, please guide us to have wisdom and understanding that gives us the ability to act together and do what is best for our community. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Commissioner Castlen. For those who are watching or those who are here, Commissioner Condor is joining us via Zoom. He's unable to be present with us. Commissioner, welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
Brooke, first item on the agenda, please.
1. Consideration for presentation. A. National Recovery Month Proclamation.
Commissioner Castlen, do you have that? You have, I'm sorry, Commissioner Marksberry.
Thank you, Judge. Daviess County, Kentucky, Proclamation, Office of the County Judge Executive. Whereas the health and well-being of every individual in our community is of highest importance, and behavioral health plays a critical role in achieving overall wellness and fulfilling lives. And whereas millions of people across our nation are impacted by mental health challenges and substance use conditions, but with the right support, treatment, and resources, recovery is not only possible but attainable for all. And whereas in order to assist more individuals in achieving long-term recovery, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, SAMHSA, and the White House Official of National Drug Control Policy, and the Daviess County Fiscal Court encourage all citizens to actively participate in National Recovery Month. And whereas the Daviess County Fiscal Court is dedicated to raising awareness, fostering understanding, and providing critical resources that ensure accessible, compassionate care for all in need while promoting health and healing through treatment and recovery services. And I think I missed one, I'm sorry. Whereas the strength of our community lies in our ability to come together and forge pathways to recovery with local organizations, healthcare providers, first responders, law enforcement, educators, and families all playing vital roles in supporting those affected by mental health and substance use challenges. And whereas during National Recovery Month, we celebrate the resilience of individuals who have reclaimed their lives through recovery, and we honor the dedication of those who work tirelessly to guide them on this journey. Now, therefore, Charlie Castlen, Daviess County Judge Executive, does hereby proclaim the month of September 2024 in Daviess County, Kentucky as National Recovery Month. Presented in Daviess County, Kentucky, the 16th of September, 2024. Charlie Castlen, Daviess County Judge Executive.
Thank you, Commissioner. And I believe we have somebody here to, my notes say Michelle Nobles will accept this. So if you want to make a few comments, and then we'll get our picture with you, if you would.
Sure, wonderful. I'll just stand over here. Thank you. Sorry, I'm losing my voice today, so I sound a little odd. Thank you, Daviess County Fiscal Court, for including us in this important proclamation. This September, River Valley would like to celebrate the strength and resilience of those on the journey to recovery. We recognize that recovery does not simply mean the absence of substance use, but also encompasses mental, physical, spiritual, and social-emotional well-being. River Valley continues to expand and develop evidence-based programming to address the holistic needs of those that we serve. We know that the path to recovery is more manageable with the support of others. So we want to thank everyone here today and all of our amazing community partners who promote the message that together we can make a difference and that recovery is possible for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here with us.
Yeah, glad to do it.
All right, so here's the proclamation. Jordan's going to get our picture.
Take two. 1, 2, 3. Oops, sorry, a little early. Okay, let's do one more. 1, 2, 3. All right. Looks good.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Marksberry. And to you, Michelle, and all of those who work in the recovery segment of our community, I want to say thank you for all y'all do. I know River Valley's had a couple of big announcements. One of them had the governor here. And I'll go in and say I got a picture from, I didn't see Dr. Wanda in it, but I saw Dr. Clark in it. They were in Frankfurt receiving not a recovery ready certification, I guess. Recovery ready community certification. If I'm right, we're one of 5 or one of 4 that received that designation recently. And the governor's having I don't know what time it was, I've been in meetings all morning, but somebody sent me a picture, I think Debbie Zerner Johnson sent me a picture of the governor and Dr. Clark there at the event. And it's a big deal for our community. And I know you all have been very instrumental in the many years of trying to get that, leading our community in that direction. I appreciate your efforts, so thank you. Next item, Brooke.
B, Constitution Week Proclamation.
Commissioner Castlen, we'll try that again.
You got it, Judge. Daviess County, Kentucky Proclamation, Office of the County Judge Executive. Whereas the Constitution of the United States of America, the guardian of our liberties, embodies the principles of limited government in a republic dedicated to rule by law, and whereas September 17, 2024, marks the 237th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention, and whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to this magnificent document and its memorable anniversary, and to the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate it, and whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America, designated September 17th through 23rd as Constitution Week. Now, therefore, in Daviess County, Kentucky, I, Daviess County Judge Executive Charlie Castlen, do hereby proclaim September 17th through 23rd, 2024 as Constitution Week, and ask our citizens to reaffirm the ideals the framers of the Constitution had in 1787 by vigilantly protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us through this guardian of our liberties, remembering the lost rights may never be regained. Presented in Daviess County, Kentucky, the 16th day of September, 2024.
Thank you, Commissioner. I believe we have, my notes say Terry Smith is here to present, if you could come up and say a few words, and then we'll get our picture with you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me today. Following her was kind of hard because I'm a psych major and I know the trouble that we have with behavior and health and everything. But anyway, I want to say thank you for doing the Constitution. My name is Terry Smith. I am the Vice Regent for our chapter, General Evans Shelby chapter. And I think this is like my 7th time being here through the years, so I'm glad that you guys support this. President Eisenhower is the one back in the early 50s that brought out Constitution Week, and I think it's a very important document that we need to study and learn, and we go out to the schools and we present all kinds of Constitution books, Pledge of Allegiance bookmarks, and we just are really proud to support the Constitution, and I thank you for having us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You're very welcome. Y'all get on in here.
3, 2, 1. I'm sorry. Let's try 3, 2, 1. All right, one more. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Thank you.
All right, Terry, thanks so much. And thanks
Thank
for
you.
what you do.
Thank you.
I do want to say thank you for the work that you all do as far as continuing to try to let, educate our young people, and quite honestly, all of us, on the beauty of this document that guides our rule of law, so and protects our rights as citizens. So thank you. For those of you who are here for the 2 presentations, please don't feel obligated to sit through the meeting, but you're welcome to if you like. So, next item, Brooke.
C, Treasurer's Report for August of 2024.
Mr. Johnson.
As of August 31 of '24, the total cash balance for all funds is $71,785,162, minus operating reserve and restricted funds. Cash for general fund operations is $27,127,585. The first round of debt service payments have posted, which are suspended for the month in the trustee account receipts line of this report. All funds are operating within expected ranges thus far, and I have nothing else of note to report.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any questions from the commissioners for Mr. Johnson? No. Hearing none. Next item, Brooke.
2, consideration for approval. A, minutes of the September 5th, 2024 Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. We've all had the minutes for a few days to review. Do I hear any? Do you have any corrections, additions, or deletions? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
B, all claims for all departments.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. These are all the bills due and payable by the county. Are there any questions for Mr. Johnson?
No.
Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
C, second reading of KOC 921.684, 2024, 08-2024, an ordinance amending text in Articles 8, 13, and 14 of the Owensboro Metropolitan Zoning Ordinance.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Burley.
Thanks, Judge. This is the second reading of the ordinance regarding the use of medicinal marijuana in this county, regarding the state law that was passed this past session and will go into effect in, I believe, January of 2025. And I'm going to read the whereas clauses.
Whereas on August 3rd, 2024, the Owensboro Metropolitan Planning Commission held a public hearing and adopted by regulation zoning ordinance text amendments to Articles 8, 13, and 14 of the zoning ordinance. Whereas the official transcript of the proceedings at said meeting, including the evidence presented and recommendations of the Owensboro Metropolitan Planning Commission, have been filed with and considered by the Daviess County Fiscal Court and is by reference incorporated. And whereas the Daviess County Fiscal Court has carefully reviewed the amendments and finds that the amendments are in conformity with community directions and its amendments, and further finds that the amendments meet the requirements of state law. And then there's the enactment clause, and there's 4 sections. And this is the second reading, so there will be a vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any comments by any of the commissioners wish to make on this for the public, for the benefit of the public? As our counselor said, state law is going to allow medicinal cannabis to be used throughout the Commonwealth. My understanding is that the state law and the regulations and the enforcers of these laws will be watching the item and the product from seed. They said seed to consumption was a frequent thing I've heard at the training sessions that I've either sat through or joined via Zoom. Initially, I had my concerns about it. They seem to have a pretty wanting to from what I saw when I went to conferences, they seem, the people that are guiding this seem to be very focused on learning what other states have done poorly, and so that we can maximize doing things that are in the best light for our citizens who need this product. Anyway, that's all I have. Commissioners, any comments or questions? No. Okay. Commissioner? Hearing any questions, comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
D, Memorandum of Agreement with Foam Solutions, LLC.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Smith?
Yes, Judge. This year, I guess it was early September, we received, in the EDC, received for the first time since 2017, a application for a grant from our Economic Development Fund. The Economic Development Advisory Group met on September the 5th and heard a presentation from the company that wishes to open a new business here. They made a recommendation to the court, and on this memorandum of agreement, which has had approval from Foam Solutions, is for a $305,000 bridge loan to the company for the purchase and installation of equipment until they get their SBA loan approved and signed off to them.
Thank you. And before I call for the vote, actually, I'm going to ask if you would, Commissioner Marksberry, if you would withdraw your second, and Commissioner Castlen, if you'd restate your motion, I'm going to hand you some language here.
I'll make a motion.
Well, he needs to, the motion has to be said a specific way for this, for their requirement, so.
Do you mind withdrawing your second, Ms. Marksberry? All right. Commissioner, if you would restate your motion.
It's in red.
Make a motion to approve the memorandum of agreement with Foam Solutions LLC and direct the treasurer to write the $305,000 payment to Foam Solutions LLC immediately upon execution of the MOA from the Economic Development Fund.
And could I have a second? Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Commissioners. My apologies for not being better prepared. We're doing this because the funding is needed expeditiously, and also we won't have, the way state law works is we have to approve claims. We have to approve payment of every check before it can be dispensed, and that's why we had to amend or restate the motion. Thank you. Any questions or comments from the commissioners?
No.
Commissioner Go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. Brooke, is that okay? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Maybe Mr. Smith can answer the question. This is a bridge loan for an entity to restart a business. And then I assume in the documents that once the financing has been obtained by the applicant, that this bridge loan is first off as far as any liabilities or that goes against the property or the business. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and so here's my, even though, yes, I believe it's a great project, I never want us as fiscal court, as government, specifically to get into the banking business to do this, and I understand the need, the rush to get it done because of timing. I truly do. I just want to be aware that we proceed very cautiously, that we don't become bankers in order to fulfill a role that others may not be able to, okay? Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other comments or questions? Have I already asked? Any comments or questions from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
E, change order 3 for bid number 2324-67, Courthouse Renovation Project.
Make a motion to approve.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Johnson.
This change order involves going from one HVAC unit to heat and cool the first floor lobby and hallway of the courthouse to 2 units and all new ductwork, which will avoid ceiling penetrations that would result in additional abatement work. The change order is in the amount of $17,365. Project Manager Beckett has reviewed it with the contractor and the judge and recommends approval, and I see no issues.
Any questions for Mr. Johnson? Any questions from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
F, appoint Al Mattingly to the Daviess County Library Board to complete the unexpired term of Christopher Gendek, effective September 16th, 2024 through September 13th of 2026.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. I assume there might be some comments folks want to make. I want to first of all thank former Judge Executive Al Mattingly. He's in the back row there for his willingness to serve our community in this manner. Commissioner Castlen, any comments you wish to make or no?
Just also, Judge, I appreciate anybody who goes through this process and their willingness to serve.
Thank you. Commissioner Marksberry?
Yes, I'd like to explain my vote. I find it intriguing. That's what was said to me by Judge Castlen about Al Mattingly submitting an application to serve on the library board. Well, what I find intriguing is that Chris Castlen and Larry Condor both knew he had applied, but I did not. I also find it intriguing that the judge only found out the same day that I did. The way I learned we were voting on this today was from the media who called me Friday and asked me what I thought about it. That's right. The media knew about this before I did. Intriguing indeed. I believe this appointment should be filled by a private citizen who is not a prior elected official. It's for the people. And doing this only reinforces the perception that Owensboro is run by the good old boy network. Heck, just the fact that I was out of the loop as the woman on the commission proves this is the good old boy network. This nominee will intimidate other board members with his still perceived authority. He will completely take over this board, in my opinion. He is also shown to be very aligned with one side of this controversy by his record as past judge executive. I believe we need an objective voice on this board. Do we have confidence he will be objective? Notably, he voted for the Fairness Ordinance, was against passing a 2A gun resolution. He removed the statue from the courthouse in the early morning hours when most of us were still asleep. Slipping him in last minute on our agenda with no notice Feels a little like that. Deja vu all over again. This nominee has attended recent library board meetings. I question his motives, so I am voting no for his appointment to the library board. If I have to stand alone for conservative values on this court, then I will.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Condor, any comments?
Just briefly, Judge. You there, Brooke? You ready?
We're ready.
Just briefly, Judge, Al Mattingly and I have known each other for some time. 2008 to be specific, when he came into office, and when my wife and I were beginning to do some remodeling processes, and I believe he came into the court with yourself and others brand new out of the box. So if there's one thing about Judge Mattingly and myself that is pretty similar, we're both very stubborn. But when it comes to actually solving the problems of the people, of government, of how agencies should be run, of how they should be run right, for the right reason, if there's not very many people out there like Al Mattingly who will know his information and know what he needs to do and how to do it. We've had our issues, Judge Mattingly and I have, but at the end of the day, he usually turns around and looks at me and says, okay, who's buying the drinks? He has a way of, being strong, but he will separate business from pleasure and not make it personal as much as possible. So, thank you, Al Mattingly, for being willing to serve. Let's get everything at the library in good order quickly. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Judge, do you mind if I have, since
Go ahead.
I feel like I was directly accused of wrongdoing, I feel like I should say that Al Mattingly and I saw each other at a fundraiser a few days before, and he let me know then that he had applied for the position. So, nothing underhanded. He applied, he told me, and anybody that knows Al doesn't have to do any research or have any time to review or know anything else about him. You know you can vote for him or you don't.
I'll let you have one time.
Okay. So he told you, Chris, and I appreciate you sharing that with us, but you knew I was liaison to the library board, and I still think it's underhanded that I did not find this out until it was out to the media. We get an unofficial agenda. We got that on Wednesday morning around 11 a.m., and at 8 o'clock that night, I received a text message from the judge showing that he had applied for the library board. Less than 15 hours later, I was speaking with another staff member about something else we were voting on, making sure that everything was, understood. And as soon as I gave him the okay, I was voting on this other item, then I get a call from the media. Al Mattingly was put on the agenda. He was not on the agenda less than 15 hours before. That is my problem with this, is the lack of this transparency. Thank you.
So let's see. First of all, Commissioner Marksberry, I'm going to just read my reply to you that I sent, since you sent criticism of the unofficial agenda going out and what you just shared with the public here. You sent that email to 17 staff members who receive that unofficial agenda. So I'm going to just read my response. Commissioner, prior to every fiscal court meeting, various staff send the fiscal court members information about items that will be on the agenda, pending the judge executive's final approval. The pre-agenda is sent out each meeting to allow staff to make sure that something they meant to include on the agenda has not been missed or overlooked. That is the sole purpose of the pre-agenda. The official agenda is set no later than 24 hours before the meeting to meet the required media notice. The pre-agenda was sent out at 10:56 a.m. My letter on 9/12. My letter from KDLA was received 9/12/24, approximately 2:15, and I did not see it until about 4:30. I texted a copy of the KDL letter to all of you around 8 p.m. I did not make a decision to add the appointment that you mentioned until around 11 a.m. today. Unlike other candidates that I might nominate for board appointments, this candidate needs no vetting, so time should be of no concern. If any fiscal court member wishes to vote no on this nominee, that is their prerogative, as with all appointments. Now, the other thing that I want to make clear, I did not know, despite and I noticed you didn't say Charlie or Judge, but I did not know either that Chris Castlen and Larry Condor knew. I knew Chris knew when he said, he was quoted in the paper or Owensboro Times, that he knew that Judge Mattingly had applied. And I was curious as to why he might know, but I didn't have any ill-conceived notions about why he might know, but and I take what he said as his explanation as to how he knew. And as to how Commissioner Condor knew, I don't know, nor do I care. And yes, you are liaison commissioner. And I'll just say this for the public to know. I served as liaison commissioner in a number of realms, for EMA, for the road department, for the fire department, yes, for the library, and also for the airport. My understanding, and I've shared this with all three of you commissioners, that the liaison commissioner is to be the eyes and ears for the judge. And that's the way I always accepted my position as a liaison commissioner. And for what it's worth, I just decided to let the world know that I've had that conversation with all three of you all. I do want to speak to what Judge Mattingly brings to the table. Quite honestly, when I had served as a city commissioner, I don't know if it was 4 or 6 years before he joined me as a city commissioner. And quite honestly, at the time, I thought that I did a better job of being a city commissioner than anyone I served with. I don't mean any disrespect to any of them, but I was involved. I did my homework, and I tried to do a good job of serving my fellow citizens. Quite honestly, when Al joined me as a fellow city commissioner, I was embarrassed by what I thought was a good job. He ran circles around me with the energy that he had, that he brought to the table, and his knowledge and his in-depth ability to discuss issues on either side of an argument, and I admire it, quite honestly. And you mentioned the fairness ordinance. That was one I sat right beside him. I sat in this room as we listened. He called it a community conversation, I believe is what he called it. I sat in this room. I sat at Brescia, and maybe it was Brescia, not this room, but I thought it was both buildings. And a number of community conversations, and they were hard to sit through. They were very hard because there were powerful emotional testimony on both sides of the issue that were shared. And here I am, and I didn't appreciate it one bit, but I don't hold any animosity towards Al about it. But that he put me in that spot by putting it on the agenda, that I had to go through this process. I had to make a decision about it. And the reality is, I made a decision I was comfortable with, and we went on. But did I take issue with him as a human being? Absolutely not. And for everybody that might hear my voice or read a story, folks, Jesus Christ was denied by Peter. Any of us that pick up a Bible and read it, there's letters, epistles from Peter in there. And he was, for my faith as a Catholic, he was the first pope. And the reality is, he denied that he even knew Jesus. denied it despite having walked the journey with them. I'm telling you, people, we need to be forgiving of one another. And I know Aaron and Susan were Miss Montalvo Gasser, the board chair. They were quoted as saying they were pleased with this appointment, this nominee. But just because they say they're pleased, for me, it had nothing to do with what they thought. Because I didn't call you, did I, Aaron? I didn't call you and ask you what you thought, and I assure you I didn't call Susan either. The reality is my decision was made based on my knowledge and working with Al Mattingly for 14 years. And to piggyback Commissioner Connor's comment about getting things done, when the two communities, Al, they were doing away with the treatment plants, Cedar Hills and out of Friendly Village, yes. And those two communities, there were hundreds of people in our community on the verge of losing their greatest asset, their homes. And Al Mattingly and David Smith and some other staff members, they worked their tails off. And I can assure you, just as you've expressed your opposition to Al, there was opposition to what he was trying to pull off, and ultimately what he did pull off, and that being that ultimately they became customers of RWRA. And that was a huge win for our community. And it's things like that, and I could go on and I won't. But anyway, I respect your opinion. I respect the opinion of the other commissioners. And anyway, I'll let it go with that. I want to piggyback what Commissioner Castlen said, and thank you both for putting your names out there to be candidates for the library board. Anyway, with that, all those in favor, I'm going to ask you to do roll call. Just call each name. Yes, that was before we asked for the commentary. Do Commissioner Condor first.
Commissioner Condor,
Yes.
Commissioner Castlen,
Yes.
Commissioner Marksberry,
No.
Judge Executive Castlen.
Yes. Motion carries 3-1. Next item, Brooke.
3, consideration for discussion. A, other business to be brought before the Daviess County Fiscal Court. There is none that I'm aware of. B, public comments.
This is a part of our meeting where we invite the public to come forward, state your name and address for the record, and say whatever might be on your mind. You're not allowed to speak to any item that we've just discussed or that we voted on. Come ahead, sir.
You preach so long, I want to preach. Thank you, Judge. I just want to take this opportunity to say thanks on behalf of all the sporting clay shooters in the state of Kentucky. 2 weeks ago, we held a tournament here, the Kentucky State Tournament, and the folks that you have as staff out at the gun club did an outstanding job, and they need to be commended. Everyone that was here had a very enjoyable time and said that they will be back to Owensboro outside of the shooting that we did at the Mattingly Sporting Clays range at Pup Creek.
And do you mind stating your name for the record, sir?
Al Mattingly,
Thank you.
2339 Crescent Hill Drive.
Thank you. And I heard that it went well, and I'm pleased. I know you don't have the mic anymore, but did you come in number 1 in your class or no?
Some dude from Ohio broke a perfect score on Saturday and then ended up winning it. I think he was hopped up on cats and dogs.
I'm glad the mic was muted for that. Anyone else on the public comment? No takers. Brooke?
C, comments by Daviess County Fiscal Court.
Commissioner Condor.
Thank you, Judge. Just wanted to remind everyone that this weekend will be Pups in the Park, and I think, Judge, do you have possibly further details on what that might be? Because everything I'm reading, it is the temperature's going to look good, the weather's going to be great, and it is going to be a blast. So would you or Jordan Rowe be able to provide a little bit more information for the public that they get this event on their calendars? Bring the dogs, bring the kids. It's going to be a great time.
We'll be glad to add more, yes. Anything else?
That's it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Marksberry.
Thank you, Judge. So Pups in the Park, it's going to be this Friday, Jordan, correct? It's Friday through Sunday. So from 5 to 7 on Friday. Is that the same, what's the dates for, I just have Sunday, 8 a.m. to 6. So what is Saturday? Both?
I think.
Okay. So there will be dock diving, where the dogs will be up on this dock and they'll dive down and, well, actually, I think they jump up and get a toy and retrieve that. They also we're doing some microchipping for the community. The first 100 microchips will be free to the community. I believe that was sponsored by Saint. Is that correct?
I believe it's
Yes,
true.
one of our nonprofits, Saint. And then Sparky will be there doing nail trimming. There'll be kids' activities there as well. It's just going to be a great day for anybody that has a dog or loves dogs or just wants to get out and enjoy our beautiful park. And it is at Panther Creek Park. And we hope to see you there. Thank you.
Give that address.
Also, the address is 5160 Wayne Bridge Road.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. Anything else?
No.
Commissioner Castlen.
Yes, Judge, thank you. Judge. Get us going here, okay. Just want to say, Commissioner Condor, glad to see you on the screen and hope to have you back here at our next meeting as well. Also, everyone who had something to do with the air show from this weekend, thanks. You did an excellent job. Even the days when I wasn't there, you knew it was going on if you're anywhere around here. So, thank you.
It was hard not to know what was going on. Yes, I've got that note too. I just want to say thank you to the mayor and commissioners for sponsoring, bringing in I've got written down, fabulous air show. Daviess County Fiscal Court was glad to be a sponsor again. We've done it several years, and started under Judge Mattingly's tenure. It's something I think we should continue. The Blue Angels are something else, and for those who might not know, they're not just showmen. They're actually, and show women. There's a woman that was flying this year. They are actual military pilots. And so they fly in defense of our nation. So it's I've had the pleasure of meeting some of them over the years, and it is indeed an honor. We will be back here at this site, I think, at least one more meeting, and then hopefully we can return to our regular place at the courthouse. I do want to congratulate. I want to recognize Mr. Biddle. He's here. He serves our community on the Water District Board, and thank you, sir, for your service to our community. Also, I just want to mention and congratulations to a young man. It says Jonathan Berry had a first place win at the FFA tractor driving contest. Not sure when that was held, but I say congratulations to him. For that, is this when it happened? Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't properly prepared. I should have looked at my notes in more detail. On Saturday, September 7th, at the FFA Leadership Training Center in Hardensburg, Kentucky. That is where he placed first in the tractor driving contest. And Jonathan is a student here at Daviess County High School, so congratulations to him. Anything else, Brooke?
No.
Okay. I know I see Claude Bacon sitting in the back, and Jamie is one of his sidekicks. Thank you all for what you do for our community and our EDC realm, and we've had some good news of late. So Appreciate any efforts y'all make in those regards. I think that's it. So without further business, this meeting is adjourned.